Hey everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable the podcast. It is Friday, November the 8th already. So today, I got my Philly sports gear on here. Philly sweatshirt, Eagles hat, and talk some Philly sports. Start with the Eagles, right? So Eagles play in Dallas on Sunday. Not so much of a big hype about this game, not like the past when the Eagles played the Cowboys. Why? Because the Cowboys suck, which is a good thing. But like I said before, it's always more fun to have a villain, to have a rivalry where both teams are good. It's more fun when you got one team that sucks like Dallas does. It's just not as much fun. But yeah, we'll see. Eagles haven't won in Dallas in what 7 years? 7 years. Dallas is hurt. Dak Prescott is gone for a couple months. CD Lamb, I don't know if he's going to play. It's going to be really tough for the Cowboys to score. How are they going to score? I mean, they couldn't run the ball before. Uh, Passing the ball, it's Cooper Rush is the quarterback. Um, who does he have to throw to? Yeah, I mean, Cowboys get 13 points this game. They'll be lucky. But Eagles can't take them for granted. I mean, the thing is, Eagles have a big game coming up next Thursday against Washington. And who would ever thought that this Dallas game might be a trap game, that the Eagles can't look ahead to Washington? Whoever thought that Washington would be the better team, right? But that's the way it is right now. But the Eagles, it's the basic thing. They can't turn the ball over. When they have the ball down in Dallas territory, they can't turn it over. They need to score points, preferably touchdowns. And they can't turn the ball over on their side of the field. They give Dallas a short field. Dallas, without Dak Prescott, without CD Lamb, they're going to have trouble moving the ball. So you don't want to give them a short field. So the first thing is limit mistakes. Second thing is stay focused, because you don't want to go down to Dallas overconfident because the Cowboys are all bagged up. You don't want to go down there looking ahead to Washington. You've got to go down there and take care of business. You got to remember that you haven't beaten the Cowboys in Dallas in a long, long time, and you have to take advantage of it. Eagles look like they're going to be kind of healthy. They're still going to be without Jordan Mailata. He probably will be back for the Washington game. And Devontae Smith, is he going to be okay? We'll see, but it certainly looks like AJ Brown's going to be back, which is great news. It looks like Jalen Hurts is okay. Now, here's the thing: the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball on these guys because they're getting Micah Parsons back, but so what? The Cowboys can't run the ball; they can't stop the run. So Saquon Barkley should have another big game, both on the ground and in the air. Jalen Hurts, because the Cowboys really can't contain running quarterbacks. If he wants to, he should be able to take off anytime, pick up first downs. AJ Brown is back. He's going to torch the secondary, which is weak. We got Dallas Goedert, who's probably going to be back. We've got hopefully Devontae Smith. So Eagles have a lot of weapons to attack the Cowboys. Eagles need to control the ball, don't turn the ball over, and score. And put these guys in. So, going defense, I'd like to see them Cooper Rush, and don't give him time. I mean, any NFL quarterback, if you give him enough time in the pocket, they're going to pick you apart. And you can't let Rush sit back there and just play a zone where he picks you. You can't do that. Number one, Rush doesn't have the weapons, and no Dak Prescott. Not that Dak Prescott was a bowl of cherries, but he's not Dak Prescott. So put some pressure on him, force him to make mistakes. That's one of the keys in any sport. Be aggressive, but don't be stupid. Like Nick Sirianni last week, going for the 2 pointers, going for the 2. Pretty soon you end up chasing 2 pointers all day long, and chasing points because you leave points on the field, and then you're trying to make them up and chase them. Stop with that. Take your extra points, take your field goals when they are warranted, but don't be stupid. Yes, be aggressive. Use the push tush. Dallas Goedert is back, so he's going to help with that. But just don't do anything crazy, Nick Sirianni, okay? Jesus. So, I think the Eagles should win. I mean, the line is what, 7? And the Eagles should cover that. Even in Dallas, they should cover that. I would be surprised if the Eagles win by at least 2 touchdowns. Now, maybe I'm naive. It's probably, yeah. And a homer, which I probably am. But, here's the thing. How are the Cowboys going to stop the Eagles from scoring? And how are the Cowboys going to score? That's what I'd like to know. What the Cowboys are going to do is try to make it a defensive game, like a 10-6 kind of a game, where they run the ball, try to take time off the clock. They're not going to want to get into a shootout with the Eagles. They're going to try to control the ball and shorten the game. That's why the Eagles can't sit back. They need to be aggressive, put more pressure on the Cowboys, both offensively and defensively too. So, Cowboys cooked, they are cooked for the year. I don't see, without Dak Prescott, at least he gave him a chance. I mean, think about it this way. The Cowboys were losing even with Dak Prescott. Jesus, losing all their home games. So how do you think they're going to be without that person? I mean, it just logic tells you that you're not going to be as good. So I look for the Eagles to win, maybe 31-13. That's how it's going to be. There you go. Should be a good weekend of football. Washington, speaking of Washington, they are playing Pittsburgh this weekend. That'll be a good game. Pittsburgh has a good team. They're actually in front in the Central Division. How about that game last night, Baltimore and Cincinnati? Huh? Oh God. You got to give Cincinnati credit. They came back at the end and tied the game. Well, not tied the game. Down by one. They could have kicked the extra point, tied the game, forced the game. They'd probably go to overtime. But they went for 2, being on the road. I don't blame them, I'd probably do the same thing. You're on the road, you want to get out, right? Steal the win. You're the underdog, you're not the favorite. So you probably did the win too. But it was a hell of a game. The 2 times they've played, Baltimore beat them 41-38 in Cincinnati, and last night they beat them 35-34. So, dang, they play some fun football. I mean, the quarterbacks, Joe Burrow threw for 4 touchdowns. And Lamar Jackson on Baltimore threw for 4 touchdowns. So it was a hell of a game. You kind of wish that they would play in playoffs, but I don't think Cincinnati's going to get there. That NFC, I don't think they're going to get there. I just don't think Cincinnati's going to get the AFC North, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Yeah. I mean, it looks like they're the teams that are going to fight it out. I mean, Cleveland's just a mess, forget it. Cincinnati, too far. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Yeah, that grudge match, huh? They're going to fight it for that division. Hey, you look at the other divisions. To be, we got Buffalo again in the lead in the AFC East. Everybody was on the Jets, and Jets stink, Aaron Rodgers, not so good. Jets, they gave up the ranch to get Aaron Rodgers, and they're going to stink for a while. If he can't come through this year for them, after everything they got, right? They just wasted their time. The Jets are just one of these pathetic organizations. You can count on the Jets for scoring. And the rest of the division, Miami, the late one, they're in. So it looks like Buffalo's going to hold on. Now, the AFC South, you got, it looks like Houston's going to win that. Because I don't see, Indianapolis had a chance to step up. They didn't do it last week. The rest of that division stinks to Jacksonville, yeah. And AFC West, in Kansas City's undefeated. What the hell? What you can't ask for them. The Chargers are playing good football. Now, I would be surprised if the Chargers make teams as a wild card team. So there's just something about Baltimore, Baltimore. There's just something about it. Maybe it's destiny. Everybody thought Baltimore, the Ravens, were going to get to the Super Bowl last year, and if they could, we know what happened in the AFC Championship game last year when Kansas City invaded Baltimore and the Chiefs won. Well, one would think Baltimore has revenge this year, but I don't know. Somehow, some way, the Chiefs always win. They always pull it out of the fire. And now they have DeAndre Hopkins is in the, and that just makes me better. But there's just something about Baltimore. They've got so many weapons, they can score at will. And something about it, I don't know. We'll see what happens. NFC, looks like it's going to be Eagles Washington to fight for the division. And that's why next week's game was so big. Oh, the Eagles need to take care of business and jump into the lead. So 2 division games in the next 2 weeks. Big for the Eagles. You look at the rest of the league, NFC West. Oh, yeah, what a mumble jumble out there, huh? 49ers, Cardinals, Rams are improving. Now they've got Cooper Kupp back. And, you can't count the Rams out. You know who's disappointing? Seattle. Everybody was on Seattle this year. That was the trendy pick. Seattle Seahawks. And, they don't look special. Geno Smith, there. Seattle. What the hell? Why did people see Seattle so favorable? I don't get it. That's got a new coach out there. But, I don't know. And I'm not a big 49ers guy, even though it looks like they're going to get Christian McCaffrey now. I still believe in that old adage there. The team that lost the Super Bowl, they usually don't have a good season the following season. And so far, it's turned out to be true. The 49ers are 4-4? So you can't call that a good season. That surprised me, Arizona. Is Arizona good enough to step up and actually take that division? I don't know. We'll see. The interesting division is the NFC North. Because there you got, the Lions, right? Some of our Lions are taking care of business. They beat the Packers in Green Bay. They beat the Vikings in Minnesota. Minnesota's still a good team. Packers are a good team. The Bears are even a good team. But Detroit, the Lions are just in another class. Uh, and everybody said last week Lions played outdoors for the first time this year. Um, Jeff Goff, Jared Goff or whatever. First time playing outside in the rain, blah blah blah. He did fine. He did good. You gotta say, even though they're missing Aiden Hutchinson, they're excellent defensive end. Uh oh, the Lions, there's something about them. They are fast and athletic, tough, and they are geared to finally get to a Super Bowl, perhaps win it. So, uh, Eagles are going to have to go through, probably have to go through Detroit to do it in Detroit. I will see what happens. NFC South. I mean, that looks like it's Atlanta Falcons, and they're beat everybody. The Saints, the Panthers, really, the Bucks. Oh, the Bucks are a little injured. Evans is out. Godwin is out. Now it looks like Baker Mayfield maybe. So it's the Falcons division. They were the trendy pick anyway before the season began. Atlanta Falcons. So it's like they're going to win that division and get into the playoffs. Now, what they do in the playoffs will be very interesting because, usually jokes and usually Kirk Cousins chips in spot, but that may be a different Atlanta team this year. They do have a lot of weapons, I'll say that. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball. I mean, Kirk Cousins has been going crazy lately. He's had a game recently at 500 yards in the air. It's incredible. So in football, it's an interesting, as always, every season is an interesting landscape there. We just passed the midway part. So, before you know it, we talk about teams going down the stretch. And a couple weeks later, the Thanksgiving Day games, those are to watch. I mean, it's a Thanksgiving Day tradition, isn't it? Have your turkey, have your stuffing, have your football there with it, And so that's one cool thing about Thanksgiving. Not only having family over and having a big spread, turkey dinner, whatever, you got a whole day of football there, starting 12:30 with the Lions game. And people were complaining. What last year, year before? Oh, the Lions suck. Cowboys are why do they always have Thanksgiving Day games in Detroit and Dallas? That's the way it's always been. It's tradition. I don't think people are going to want to move those games then. I mean, the Lions are must see TV. So, the networks flip flop every year. Fox has the Dallas game one year, and then the CBS has the Lions game, vice versa. So, having a Lions games, it's big news there. On Thanksgiving, the Dallas game kind of is like the downer, But I gotta say, football knows how to promote itself. Now we have another London game coming up Sunday. Don't forget about that. But I don't think it's a game like to get up and watch. I'm not going to break my neck getting up and watching the New York Giants play the Carolina Panthers no, they're playing in Germany. That's right, they're playing in Germany. So whatever. It's in Europe. It's still a pain in the neck because they're like 6 hours ahead of us. So while we're getting up and we're having breakfast and we're watching the game here at 9:30 our time, it's like 3:30 in the afternoon over there. So, I mean, naturally, if it was a good matchup, like Chiefs, Eagles or something, right? Lions, Ravens. Of course, I'd be watching, but really, the Giants and the Panthers, that's pathetic. Anyway, so a whole weekend of football coming up, huh? Huh? Speaking of which, that Sunday night game should be a good one. Lions at Houston, the Texans. Not a bad matchup. You got the Lions coming off of their big win in Green Bay last week. Are they going to be a little flat this week down in Houston? Houston's not great shapes, especially if they don't get Nico Collins back. Now, if they get Nico Collins back this week, their star wide receiver, look out. Because the Texans are at home and they have the Lions visiting. So, but the key to that game is Collins because he makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. I mean, you talk about EJ Stroud has a lot of weapons too, but if he's without Nico Collins, that's going to hurt. So for the Texans to have an even better chance of knocking off the Lions Sunday night, you got to keep watching the your social media or wherever you get your sports news from to see if Nico Collins is playing. So before I get off football here, if I had a pick this weekend, well, you know what I would do? I would go for that Saquon Barkley. That's what I played last weekend. Saquon Barkley, 100 yards combined, both rushing and receiving. Now, not separate, although he could get separate. Yeah, I'm not saying Barkley's going to get 100 yards on the ground and 100 yards through the air receiving. I'm saying put them both together. And I think he's at least 100 yards. Like I said, he might get 100 yards just on the ground alone. So that's the play. That's the play that I'm looking for. Eagles, I mean, if you had to take anybody in that game, yes, I would take the Eagles because, I mean, the Cowboys just can't score. They're just not going to score. If anybody has a chance of a blowout on that game, it's going to be the Eagles. Okay, Monday I might come back and eat those. I think it's okay. So tonight, Sixers, pathetic Sixers, worst record in the NBA, play at the Lakers. Not good. Not good. I mean, you got Joel Embiid. Now Tyrese Maxey is going to be out a couple weeks with a hamstring issue. Paul George is still just getting into the groove. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do against Anthony Davis. That guy is just a monster. And then you got LeBron James, of course, and the rest of that team. But it concerns me because anytime you have a road trip, even though it hasn't been a long road trip, usually the last game of the road trip isn't good because team West Coast, they're looking to come back home. They're looking to come back east. They can sleep in their own beds, see their family. So I don't like tonight at all for the Sixers. Are they going to snap out of their funk? Well, maybe, but I would count them. Sunday, come home. They play Charlotte. That's a team they should beat. Definitely should beat. But we don't know. Now, next Tuesday, Joel Embiid himself is supposed to play. His suspension will be over. Apparently, he's healthy enough to play. Let's see if he does. Let's see how well he plays. God knows his team needs him, and they need something because right now they stink. Now, if you took the Sixers under for the season wins, you must be pretty happy. Which I believe the number was 49.5, 48. No way they're going to get close to that. So, there's a loser right there. Loser organization. I can't wait because next week, it's really going to heat up about this new arena stuff. Public hearings are starting. And what a time to ask for a new arena. When you start off the season, the worst team in basketball. And you could probably pack it in because Maxey's gone for a couple of weeks. Joel Embiid, he already proclaimed he's not going to play back-to-back games this season. Pack it in and get a better draft pick. It's a shame. those people who have season tickets, man, and what did just go down and see the other players on the other teams, right? What else can you do? Flyers won last night down in Tampa Bay. Not an easy place to play either. We won it in a shootout. I won tickets for both of the goals last night. They won 2-1. And there's a team that is an up and coming team. Now, they may not make the playoffs this year. They may not even be good this year, but they're pointed in the right direction. They have a lot of young kids, and they're learning how to win. That is the purpose of this season, and probably next. They need pieces. They still need pieces, but they're heading in the right direction. And the thing about the Flyers is they've got the right personnel in place, right front office people to someday get the vote. I'm not sure I can say that about the Sixers, but certainly the Flyers. So, Phillies still haven't made a movie. It's the off season, but a lot of the teams have it. They're just kind of gearing up. The winter meetings will be starting early in December, which is not that far away when you think of it. So that's when you're gonna have the majority of your trades happening, and or just laying the groundwork for future trades. Trades you might end up making in January, or before spring training starts. There was a report yesterday. John Heyman, who's usually pretty reliable, had a report that Juan Soto has had contact with 7 major league teams so far, and the Phillies aren't one of them. In fact, Soto is supposed to meet face to face, supposed to have a meeting next week with the New York Mets. There you go. I don't know. I mean, certainly the Phillies could use a Juan Soto. And John Middleton apparently is on the record saying he'd be willing to increase payroll again this year. Really? Okay. You got to give him credit. He's trying to win, unlike some other teams in stuff. Okay. So if that's true, what are the Phillies doing with Watson? I read something this morning that Phillies are looking for an outfielder, which Watson is, and a right-handed relief pitcher. And Jeff Hoffman was in our bullpen last couple of seasons. He's on the market, and apparently, one of the teams, I forget which one I read, might have interest in Jeff Hoffman as a starting pitcher. And did you know that Jeff Hoffman used to be a starter? He used to start for Cincinnati, the Reds, back in 2022. So, I mean, that's where money is. So I don't think Hoffman will have a problem with that. I just don't, you know what? I don't get the sense, this is me, this is just me talking, that he's coming back. I just don't think so. I think if he would have been a priority to the Phillies, they would have sold him. They would have. But obviously he's not. Now that bullpen, we saw how it sucked it in the playoffs, didn't we? Against the Mets. That bullpen needs to be made over again. We need a closer. Damn it, we need a closer. All this bullpen by committee stuff, it never works. I mean, think about it. Go back in your baseball history and think about it. When did having a bullpen by committee work, right? Well, perhaps it has in times, but surely we have a lot of equations who will get the job done, who will shut the door behind who will pick up over 50 saves this evening. And we've got to set up here to build that bridge. from the starters who may give you 6, 7 innings, and then you have the seventh guy, and then you get to the closer. It's the way this has always been. Well, not just reliever by committees, or bringing the bullpen in the fourth inning. Yeah, that's stupid. Phillies have a solid starting rotation, and they may add to it. But right now, if you go into the season with Andrew Painter coming back, the Phillies are solid starters, which is good news. See how this bullpen is. So they definitely need to focus on the bullpen, on relievers. So hopefully they start there and get the job done. But it will be interesting. I do agree that this batting order needs some tweaks because they strike out way too much. We saw what happened. We saw it in the playoffs. We saw the Mets didn't strike him as much, right? The Dodgers not strike him as much, and they won the freaking World Series. Cleveland doesn't strike out. The Yankees don't strike a ton. You put the ball in play, anything can happen. You put the pressure on the other team, right? So, Philly's got to learn that. They got to get. They have to get hitters who make contact. It's great to have all that power and to swing hard and this launch angle nonsense and whatever. But it's also good to put the ball in play and, get your doubles, get your triples, make something happen on the bases. So if you're looking for an outfielder, get somebody who can actually maybe hit 280 and doesn't strike out all the time. That would be we'll see what happens. But and general manager meetings, the winter meetings, they don't start until early December. So we'll see what happens then. That's when you got your hot stove and really heating it. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, well, looks like that's it for a Friday. Not hump day. Thank God it's Friday. So everybody have a good night, Friday night. Have a great weekend. I'll probably be back tomorrow and talk some stuff. And thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. No dogs today. Guess what? They're out to the groomers. They're getting groomed. So next time you see those dogs, whether it be pictures I post on X and Facebook or live here with me in the bedroom, they're gonna be all glamorous and goofy and pampered pooches. So they're getting beautified as we speak. Okay. Well, everybody have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Peace and love. Talk to you soon. Bye. And, go Eagles soon. Yeah? Go Sixers tonight. I don't think it's going to happen though. But go Sixers. But come on, Sixers. Come on, give us something to smile about. See you too.